So it's been 6 months since the finale of Daima, and it feels like the dust has finally settled, and everyone has picked a side to stand on. Either you think Daima's canon, or you don't. Yet, something about the Daima Super Saiyan 4 canon discussion has been bugging me. Due to the anime ending with so many loose ends, many fans came up with their own theories about why Goku doesn't use Super Saiyan 4 on Beerus, since Daima is supposed to be a prequel story to Super. But still, Super Saiyan 4 in Super is nowhere to be found, and it's nowhere to be found in the later told story of the Super manga. I'm here to propose a theory that might explain why Goku never used Super Saiyan 4 in Daima, and I think it fits perfectly into what we're given with the Daima finale. Potentially explaining what Toriyama and the staff was thinking when they were making the Daima finale. Long story short, I haven't seen anyone talk or question the absence of the Golden Oozaru method to achieve Super Saiyan 4, and it might just explain why Super Saiyan 4 isn't in Super, so let's get into the theory. To begin, let's talk about the two methods that we see Goku use to achieve Super Saiyan 4. The most recent version of these would be Neva's magic, something many assume to be connected to what Guru does for Gohan and Krillin on Namek. Both types of magic look a little different, but that's probably because Guru as a part of the Namek nomads might not have been as knowledgeable or on the same level as a Namek elder like Neva from the motherland. Everything about Neva's scene is vague and is mainly left up to interpretation. Unfortunately, Neva nor Goku ever talk about the details before the finale, but that's neither here nor there because this part is not important to our theory. The second method, and the most important one for this theory, is the Golden Oozaru method, where Goku, on advice from the Elder Kai, is told in order to defeat baby Vegeta, he must grow his tail back for some reason. So the method they come up with is to have Goku's tail be pulled out with pliers. Yes, giant fucking pliers. According to the Elder Kai, this is the fast and painful way because they didn't have time for the long training he originally had planned for Goku to regrow his tail. I mentioned this because it must mean that based on how easy it was for Neva to help Goku and Daima achieve Super Saiyan 4, Neva's magic must be truly special. It should also be noted that neither Goku nor the Elder Kai knew how to harness the power of Goku's tail. It really was all just a shot in the dark. However, after Goku regains his tail, he also re-challenges and loses once again to baby Vegeta for the second time. As a result, Goku's left lying on his back with perfect view of the planet Earth. And as you may already know, which is the main point of this is what triggers the Golden Oozaru transformation for Goku. And Baby mentions that Goku must have somehow used the Earth as a trigger for the transformation. Finally, after Goku loses control of the Golden Oozaru, he has no training in it. Pan manages to speak some sense back into him, fulfilling the transformation into Super Saiyan 4. So basically, this was an incredibly risky plan with lucky coincidence after lucky coincidence in order to achieve this form. Considering all that, it's likely that without Neva's magic or knowledge of the complicated Golden Oozaru method, Goku lost access to Super Saiyan 4 after the events of Daima. There is the fact that Goku, without Neva's help, managed to transform into Super Saiyan 4 as an adult. However, there is a chance or a situation where this could be similar to Ultra Instinct, where after the Tournament of Power, he mentions to Vegeta that he lost access to the form, so it could just be one of those cases where it was just in that moment from the hype of the fight.
Don't hold back on me, Kakarot. Where's that Ultra Instinct of yours?
I can't do it!
What?
Guess I was lucky getting pushed to it at the tournament, cause now I can't repeat it!
Now remember, Goku obtained Super Saiyan 4 in Daima about a year after the Majin Buu saga. We know this because they're celebrating Trunks' birthday, as well as the first Earth brought back to existence day.
Happy birthday, Trunks! And happy return to existence, Earth!
So, if Daima was to be canon, Goku would have met Beerus 3 years later, meaning it's not far-fetched to think that without some luck or some guidance, Super's Goku would have been training aimlessly to reobtain Super Saiyan 4 after the events of Daima. I would imagine it would be something similar to what he did after he died to Cell and went to the afterlife, where he obtained Super Saiyan 2 and then 3. So maybe he thought he was close, but without that knowledge of the Golden Oozaru, I don't think he really had a chance. If this theory is correct, it would make sense because Goku would never use the Golden Oozaru method as his own idea. It would just be too risky. He would definitely lose control, and I think he knows that. Following the introduction of Beerus and Whis, Goku and Vegeta jump at the opportunity to train with the gods. They were probably even more lost than the anime showed us. That's because we know for a fact that Goku and Vegeta were not training together at this time, most likely just sparring on special occasions like we saw at the beginning of Daima, which I happen to think is a really nice change of pace. They should have always been training together, but I guess it just took something like this to get them to come around. So with this in mind, Goku has no reason to continue pursuing Super Saiyan 4 after the introduction of God Ki. He had already been trying for 3 years with no success. This would be especially true if Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan Blue are comparable to each other, because after the introduction of Ultra Instinct, Goku wouldn't have a reason to go back to Super Saiyan 4. Unless, he's trying to combine them and get Super Saiyan 5 or something. Now, obviously Dragon Ball is filled with plot holes, and this theory is absolutely no exception. So let's get into the issues. We have 2 glaring plot holes right off the bat. The first one would be that during Vegeta's fight with Beerus, Vegeta doesn't use Super Saiyan 3 or Ultra Vegeta or whatever. This is a major issue because obviously, if Vegeta had access to Super Saiyan 3 and Daima, what could possibly excuse him not using it against Beerus, especially after Bulma got hit? Honestly, this is the biggest plot hole in the theory, but I just don't think it's big enough to completely debunk it. My best explanation, and it's not the best, would be that after Bulma gets hit, Vegeta stops thinking rationally and pushes his body to the absolute limits with Super Saiyan 2, as it's the form he's presumably the most comfortable with, at least at this time. This is also backed up by Master Roshi's comment about Vegeta having had surpassed Goku at this moment.
This is incredible! Vegeta's anger over Bulma getting hits made him even stronger than Goku!
Beyond that, Vegeta's known as a fighting prodigy as well, so I doubt he would have used a transformation like Super Saiyan 3 with its energy consumption issues without having a surefire way to defeat Beerus. And obviously, just like Goku, after obtaining God Ki, there would be no reason for Vegeta to go backwards into Super Saiyan 3. Second plot hole: why didn't Goku ask Shenron about Super Saiyan 4 after the events of Daima like he did with Super Saiyan God? This one I thought was fairly easy to debunk. It's widely known that Goku doesn't like to take shortcuts, especially not with his training. So it would go against his character for him to ask Shenron outside of dire situations. For example, in the Battle of Gods, Beerus forces Goku's hand and Goku has to come up with the idea to ask Shenron about the Super Saiyan God. However, this is the one and only time that Goku asked Shenron for help when it came to getting stronger. Goku even later mentions to Beerus about his displeasure in Battle of Gods about using power that's not his own. So in my thoughts, it would be unlikely that Goku would actually go ahead and make a wish like this, even at the risk of losing the form, I would say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this astronomical reach to the stars of my attempt to make Daima canon. The thing is that the Demon Realms addition to Dragon Ball was so amazing and I loved it and everything about it, and I really hope that this theory is right. It would open up the door to a part of Dragon Ball that we only got a glimpse of so far. And that might just be the plan, right? Because Dragon Ball the last couple of years has been really pulling at the nostalgia strings, weaving in so many of the non-canon fan favorites into the main story like Broly and Gogeta. Who knows, perhaps this is all set up for Janemba or maybe even Bojack. Hell, there might even be Hyrugadon hiding somewhere in the Demon Realm if they do decide to bring it back. But, as I mentioned before, this is just a theory. A Dragon Ball theory. Thanks for watching.
Can you say that?
Mm-hmm.
And if you like this Daima theory, I bet you'll like our top 10 gut punches list from Dragon Ball. We'll see you there.